over on the Wrestling Escape Pods a little bit. Just kind of catching up with a few bits and bobs. So, yes, we're just a little bit delayed as a result. But should be a fun show. Should be a decent show. Obviously, a go-home show for NXT Deadline. Very much looking forward to that. And we are doing that this weekend as well. Don't you think we're not when we are? Right? Don't you think we're not? So we are doing NXT. We've got a Chase U special assembly tonight. So obviously we found out last week that Andre Chase has got an issue where funds have been coming out of Chase U and being used for gambling, and basically they've been misused. So there's a few theories that it might not be Andre Chase that was the person responsible. It might actually be that Duke Hudson, who did used to do some gambling in the past. You remember he did... didn't he do a little feud with Cameron Grimes where they were doing some gambling? And there was like a backstage vignette. So there's a belief that he might have been responsible for that. So we'll have to see where it goes. But there is an investigation going on at the moment in regards to Chase U. So we've got a special assembly. We've got Ilja Dragunov and Baron Corbin in a face-off. So those two face-to-face, that should be interesting as we build towards this weekend. We've got an Iron Survivor qualifier match. This is going to be Kiana James taking on Roxanne Perez, taking on Fallon Henley, taking on Thea Hale. Winner gets that final spot in the Iron Survivor match. Then we've got the same for the guys. So Carmelo Hayes taking on Eddy Thorpe, taking on Joe Coffey, taking on Tyler Bate. So they're going up against each other. Winner gets that final spot for the guys. And then we've got Alpha Academy taking on Metaphor. They are competing against each other. So it's going to be good to see Alpha Academy coming down to NXT to compete together. It's a mixed tag match. So I believe we're going to be seeing the likes of Maxine in action. I don't know. I'm guessing it must be Lash Legend because Jakara is injured at the moment. So we've got some of the guys, we've got the girls going to be involved. It's a mixed person tag match. Gotta say, it looks good. Like 2 Iron Survivor qualifying matches that have got something riding on them. Dragunov Corbin face-off is going to be really good. Alpha Academy in action, can't really grumble at that. And we're going to further the Chase U situation. So there might not be an Undertaker. There might not be a John Cena. There might not be a Cody Rhodes. But I think what we do have is quite a fun lineup that's got some repercussions for this weekend. And this weekend is the last big show from WWE. There are no premium live events from WWE after this weekend in 2023. We're not done, of course. We've still got Raws, NXT, SmackDowns, taking us all the way through to the very end of the year. But in regards to big shows, there's one more, and it's this Saturday, and we're doing it. So I will hopefully see you there. So, yeah, NXT Deadline is on the way, and to be honest, I don't know if we watched last year's. I don't think we did. I think it clashed with something else and something pretty big. And we ended up, I don't know if it was boxing. I don't know if there was a massive boxing thing that was on at the same time. But yeah, I am now prioritizing WWE. It's what this channel is primarily, of course. So NXT is what we're doing. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it, to be honest. Really, because I think I only saw clips of last year's. Iron Survivor matches, so it'll be nice to watch them and give it like a proper watch. I'm still not sold on the idea, but I'm told that it was a very, very good match. I'm told that they were really enjoyable. People seem to really like them. The only problem I have with them is, as I've said before, the way the matches work is that you come down, like 2 people start in the ring, and then I think it's every 2 minutes someone else joins. My problem is, if you're that last person, you might be so far behind, I don't know that you can win. because if the person that started off has been able to get some quick pinfalls, it's going to be really hard for that last person that enters to kind of catch them up. So I don't know. I need to watch it, see how the time works. That's my concern with it. A lot of people will say, well, it's no different than a Rumble. If you go into a Rumble, it's hard to win that if you're number one. So, if it's just hard for you to win if you're the last person in. It could also be that you might be the first person in. You might get pinned. So, you might actually then be at a disadvantage. So I do understand that. But my counter argument would be that if you are the last person in and someone's got a massive lead, which means it's going to be like really difficult for you to close that lead with the time you've got, you can't lose a Rumble, really. You can't join a Rumble at 30 and be in a situation where you can't win it. You can't join a Rumble at 1 and be in a situation where you can't win it. But in this match, you might be the last person that comes in and you might find yourself in a situation where you can't win it. Because the people that started out might have already built up enough of a lead. But again, I need to see it. That's my only grumble that I've got with the concept. In reality, it may just not be that way. It might work out different, but this is why I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I think last year I only saw highlights of it. So the concept is something I'm still on the fence with. It's something that I want to see. But the reports from last year were great. People loved it. People said it was a great match. It's a good idea. And yeah, we'll have to see. I'm sure that people felt the same about the Rumble. Like, I'll need to see it, Be interesting, actually. I'd love to know how people felt about the Rumble when they first saw it. Miss Dow Jr. said, Deadline clashed with UFC 282. Oh, okay. Thank you. I never watched NXT before this year, said Jennifer, and I really like it. I think bringing main roster talent down helped. This Saturday will be my first NXT Premium Live event, and I am looking forward to it. Yeah, you should. I mean, it's a great glimpse of the superstars that are going to go to the main roster. So it's a great look at some names that you will be familiar with more so in the future, that will main event WrestleManias and win world titles. This is like pretty much all of the roster came through NXT at some point, short of like an AJ Styles but even Roman and Seth, they spent a little bit of time with it. I mean, Seth was the first NXT champ, for example. So, even they spent, in Roman's case, a very fleeting, a very short amount of time, because NXT started this kind of new way of presenting itself with Full Sail and everything around the same time that the Shield made their debut. So the crossover was very short. But like really anyone that's kind of come through onto that main roster since 2013 has come through NXT. So your Randy Ortons didn't. But as we said, 99% of that roster pretty much did. So it's if you really love WWE and you are just really into Raw and SmackDown, watching NXT is a no-brainer. It really is. It's a no-brainer. It just shows you, and to be honest, you'll even see some stars that won't make it. Well, there's plenty of people in NXT that end up getting cut in NXT that don't go on to make. Look at Velveteen Dream. There was so much excitement around the Velveteen Dream. People really predicting massive things for him. And look at where he is now. So the Velveteen Dream is someone that, or Undisputed Era. Think of everything Undisputed Era did in NXT and never went to the main roster. It's mental, innit? It's crazy. Some of the Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, another big name that was in NXT that never made it to the main roster. So, you get to see some big, great talent that sadly don't get called up. And then, of course, you get to see those people that do go on to great success on the main roster. So it's a place where people can reinvent themselves, like Baron Corbin or Mandy Rose. It's also a place where talent can learn and emerge. It can do a lot of different things, NXT. And of course, it's a place where we can even just bring people down that just don't have much creative at the moment and might not need to reinvent themselves, but there might just be a bit of a dead end. I suppose in a way, Becky didn't have any feuds on the main roster, and she'd never been NXT champion. So we had Becky come down. She had a little run with the belt. She used it on Raw. And it gave her a little something to do. So NXT, I think, serves a lot of different purposes. So it definitely is a brand, I think, if you're really into WWE, you should be switched on to. Isri, shout out to you, my friend. I really appreciate the support. Let's celebrate the 3rd super chat on a live stream from Isri. Isri, you've got a big 3 and some balloons next to it. Happy 3rd birthday. Isri said, Daze, how would you feel if Dragunov lost the title at Deadline? Sad. But then makes his debut at the Rumble. Happy. Eliminating Gunther. Happier. Then starts a feud at WrestleMania where we crown a new champion. Ecstatic. You took me on a journey there, my friends. I went from sad to ecstatic all within the space of a few sentences. I think if he was to lose the NXT title, that is exactly what I would be hoping for. I would be hoping that he's lost it, not because they have deemed him to do a bad job, or that they want to go in a new direction, but more because he is ready and they've got something good for him. You know, if Ilja was the one that was going to be called up and he was going to be the one to take down Gunther, I would be very excited by that because he is intense. He is the right person for the job. He is that person. He is the person that it should be. Because we saw there, he was the person that beat him for the title with NXT UK. So he is the Gunther killer. He is the one that has the right level of intensity, the right level of fight, the right level of heart to get the job done. We've seen that at the developmental level, but we need the world to see it. We need the WWE universe to see it. And what an arrival for him as well. I'm not a fan of someone coming up and just winning a title straight away, right? I do feel there is a degree of earning that title. What I will say is I don't feel quite as strong about that when it comes to a mid-card title. So if Gunther was the world champion and we were talking about Ilja coming in and winning the world championship straight away, I would actually have a problem with that. I would say that is probably, we're going from 0 to 100 too quickly there. And I would say he would need to work his way through the mid-cards. But him coming in and winning a mid-card title pretty much out the gates, arrives at the Rumble and is a mid-card champ by WrestleMania, I can get behind that. I don't have a problem with that. I feel a bit different about mid-card titles as I do to world titles. And I think that mid-card title is one that he would hold for a long time as well. I think that, he would need to be introduced to the roster, obviously to the WWE universe. You would do that in the build to WrestleMania. And, that result would really put him on people's agendas. But then he would still need a good run after that because he would be nowhere near a world title. There'd be plenty of people ahead of him in that queue. I'm sat here still waiting for Sammy. So that I don't want to see Ilja coming in and just getting a world title. I'm still waiting for Sammy to get his opportunity, and he's been on the main roster since like 2016, 2017. So it's been a long time. We've been waiting a long time. So, I'd feel different if it's a world title. But in regards to Intercontinental and in regards to him being the one, and certainly if you take into account what we saw from him down in developmental where he beat Gunther, and we know what he's capable of. We know how great his matches are. We saw that match just the other week as well, which was it last week he competed? And it was against Nathan Frazier, and it was just fantastic. Everything about that I like, Isri. Everything about that I like. So if he's going to lose the title, I can cope with it, as long as we got something good lined up for him after. And actually, do you know what? Baron Corbin beating Ilja, winning the title, that's great for Corbin as well. I feel like Corbin needs that. Corbin he needs something to get some momentum going. He needs something to gloat about. He needs something to brag about. And him coming down to NXT and winning the title would just cement that he has, got some kind of momentum. So, yeah, I can sign up to that. I can sign up to that. So, Isri, shout out to you, my friend. I really appreciate the support, and it's a good shout, that is. It's a good shout. Cameron said, could JC be the reason that Chase U is in trouble? She could be, yep. I mean, I don't know that she would have access to the funds. I don't know that she ever got in enough with them to get that kind of access. Obviously, she could be sneaking around and, breaking into things. And she's certainly one not to be trusted. So, yeah, JC could definitely be part of that. I do think, though, that Duke's probably the direction we should be looking, because there was a few on social media that were making that point. And I think it's a great point, because he is someone that's the MVP. He is someone that is well in with Chase U. He's been in that group for years now. He's also someone that's like a sleeping giant. I mean, Duke Hudson is the next Wade Barrett. That's how I've always seen him. He's a big, tall guy who is no nonsense. He's got a little bit more comedy about him, but I don't know. Wade Barrett had the bad news Barrett gimmick. That was fun. And do you remember him at the Hall of Fame? That was brilliant. And he came out, he said, I'm afraid I got some bad news. And he was saying, drink it all in, all of you. Everyone that's here, savor every moment of this, because none of you will ever get into the WWE Hall of Fame. And he laid into all the superstars that were in the crowd, and he laughed his head off. They cut, I think, to Cody, actually, and Cody was in stitches. Loved it. I think it might have been Dolph, actually. But yeah, the superstars loved it. It was brilliant. So it was funny at times as well. But I've always seen him as a Wade Barrett type person. I could definitely see this being a way of him getting the push that he very much deserves. He's just been kind of not pushed to the side, but he's kind of been pushed to the side. You go in that group. We haven't really got much for you at the moment. You go in there, it'll make them bigger, better. You can maybe have a run with the tag belts, and we can do a bit of drama, whatever. So he's been with them for a while now, and it's been good. It's been entertaining. But definitely time to do something with him and pull the trigger with him and get going. Unless you're going to call them up as a tag team. Unless your plan is to keep them together and treat them as a tag team forever. But I could see them pulling the trigger on him. So, yeah, definitely you can have a look at JC Jane. I think that's a great shout. But I've got my eyes on Duke Hudson at the moment. He's the favourite to be the reason for this. And then JC, maybe second favourite, maybe third. I'd have JC ahead of Thea. Andre Chase might be the one that's got to take the blame as well. He's got to be in the mix. It's those four, isn't it, really? It's one of them four that's responsible for this. At the moment, I think most people think it's Andre Chase's fault. But the swerve, I think, will be that he didn't do it. And then we start looking at who is the person responsible. That's where I could see the story going. So, yeah, good shout. JC, very good shout. Q the Light Knight said CM Punk is on an operation. If he wins something between time, he is not there to make friends. It would be cool. Oh, you mean like a undercover operation? TBH, hello, said Daze, your voice got used in a official YouTube video package. TBH, shout out to you. I appreciate it. It's the same one I think they've been showing on Raw and SmackDown. Triton said, who loves their trophy more, Duke Hudson or Noam Dar? That's a good shout. I think I would say Noam Dar. But we saw Duke Hudson choose between, didn't he have to choose between the trophy and Thea? And he chose the trophy. So we know that he has got a lot of love for the trophy that he was awarded. Alex Bliss Gamer said Wrestle Ops have reported that TKO wants WWE to do less house shows. It's a bit random, isn't it? They only do 2 a week. They do Saturday Night Slam or whatever, Saturday Night's Main Event, and Sunday Stunner. If they go to Europe, then they do a few more, because I think they're still quite profitable. But, yeah, gone are the days where they do, like, Monday nights, Tuesday nights. So, do you know, I think, was it before WrestleMania 1, they did a house show the night before? Did a house show on the Sunday. No. Did a house show on the Saturday night and then WrestleMania on the Sunday. And there's stories of wrestlers doing 2 shows a day where they'll do one town and they'll do the afternoon. And then they'll go to another town and they'll do the night. So, like, the industry has drastically changed from those days. Now, wrestlers do Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday if they are Raw superstars. If they're SmackDown superstars, they'll do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know that they get Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday completely off. I don't actually know, like, from a schedule point of view how it works, but they might do. They might get 3 days off a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you're a Raw superstar, you'd get 4 days off, wouldn't you? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But I suppose you've got to travel a lot, haven't you? I mean, if you finish up somewhere on a Monday night, I don't know that you're going to be able to get a flight back that night. You might have to stay over and then come back the next day. I don't know. I suppose, like, you have to factor in travel. So, but if you factor that in, they're getting 2 days off a week and then whatever time they've got. I haven't seen what their schedules look like, but if you look at the announced shows, the shows that WWE are doing, the ones that you can buy tickets for, they only tend to do Saturday, Sundays with house shows. So it's it's they don't have to work that much these days. They don't have to work that much. The business has changed so much that I mean, actually, you can have a look at someone like Seth Rollins. So let's have a look at Seth. If we go Seth Rollins, Cage Match. Cage Match has got a list of this stuff. And let's look at it together. That way you can see that I'm not lying or cheating. I'm being honest. So here's Seth, Cage Match, right? He's got a score at the moment on Cage Match. 1,236 votes. His average score is 878. I can never. This isn't something I tend to look at, to be honest. There is a way of looking by year. I mean, you can click on matches, and that'll tell you all of his matches, right? Or you can match statistics here. So far in 2023, he's had 96 matches. Look at this. Oh, well, in all fairness, this was... So that was during the lockdown. Look, 2020, he had 53. 2021, he had 53. Look at this, though. In 2013, he did 214 matches. The year after that, 196. Then 176. So can you see here, look? The Shield debut at the very end of 2012. So 2013 was his first full year on the main roster, and he did 214 matches in 2013. Next year was his second full year on the main roster. He did 196. And then in 2015, we did 176. We crash a lot there, so I can't remember. I don't know if there was an injury or something, but that's a hell of a fall. So that would suggest there was some sort of injury. Something kept him off TV, or something kept him out of matches. Because I don't think you'd go from 176 to 118, and then you go to 153 to 160. But I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this period here. I mean, This run of 2013 to 2018, we're talking 214, dipping down to 160 by the time we're getting towards the pandemic. Now, this year, we're at 96. 96. So, I mean, it's still a fair amount of matches, don't get me wrong, right? It's still not a bad number, but gone are the days where, you know, wrestlers are, you know, busting the gut. That 214 really sticks out. How about if we compare it to someone like Luthez? I don't know if Luthez's information will be Luthez 9.6. Factually a better wrestler than Seth Rollins. Match statistics. This can't be everything. But, like, I mean, look, I think this is limited data, to be honest, because I would say that this looks low. In 1950s, look, he's doing 173 and 168. I don't know what this must have, I don't know what that is there. That must have been injuries or something, because he's doing pretty consistent 180, 180, 170. And then it really drops off onto this period. This period here, I can believe this is where I think his career is sort of winding down. I can believe that. But this bit here, which is like the bulk of his career, going from like the late 40s to the early 60s, that surely should be more. That surely should be more. I'm surprised at how low that is. Still above what Seth's doing now, but actually below what Seth was doing in 2013. Let's compare it to Ric Flair, shall we? Let's see what Flair was doing in the 80s. Ric Flair match statistics. Okay, now I feel like we're getting somewhere. So 79, he did 238. 80, 207. 81, 268. 1982, he wrestled 285 times. 1983, 248. I mean, look at all these. 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. And they're not, I mean, that's 268. That's 285. That's 248. That's 244. It's not just like 201, 202. Some big numbers in there. Big numbers. And surely, if that's what it was like in the 80s, that was definitely what it was like in the 50s. I'm struggling to believe that Luthez wasn't posting these kind of numbers as well. I don't know if everything's on here. I feel like it should be for Seth because, you know, if you talk in the modern era, you know, all these cards are a lot more accessible. But if you go back to the 50s, it's a lot harder to find all the cards. But you get my point anyway. My point is that they don't wrestle as much as they used to. In the 80s and back in the day, it was like all the time. Like you were constantly going from town to town. You were just constantly working because that's how they made their money. So, I mean, how are they going to cut more house shows? Are we just not going to do house shows? How are we going to like cut them down? Because they don't do many anyway. We're pretty stripped back as it is, so I don't know what that is going to look like. I think that it'll be a shame. I mean, I suppose UFC don't do house shows, but it's a completely different sport, isn't it? It's a completely different thing. Like, they can't do house shows because every fighter only fights once or twice a year as it is. You can't really waste that fighter on a house show. Whereas with wrestling, you can do it 250-odd times a year. If you're being safe, of course, and you've not got injury. So, no, I don't know. That's an interesting one. Really interesting one. I don't know how they're going to cut it back any further. Unless they just stop doing house shows. Big Time said, Raw is down a whopping 351 from last week's 1884. They did 1533. Last night was a good show, but the week prior was not well received by many, unfortunately. I don't know, to be honest. I think that I've heard that people didn't massively enjoy that show, the one that CM Punk was on. I don't know that that is a reflection of that. I just think a lot of people tuned in for Punk. I think a lot of people tuned in for Punk and then they saw what they saw and that was it. you could make the argument that they were doing 1-3 something, 1-4, and now they've managed to not have Punk, not advertise Punk, and deliver a 1-5-3. So there's an increase there. Was they ever going to be able to hold that 1-8? No, definitely no. That 1-8 was an inflated number because of CM Punk being on the show. Just like when Rampage did its 1.2 million, was the expectation that they were going to hold that number the next week? No, definitely no. It was always going to drop. And that 1-8 was always going to drop. So I think it's up for debate as to what a satisfactory number would be following that 1.8. If there's no reason at the moment for yesterday's show to have done anything above what it's normally been doing. There's no reason for it to have done anything more than its 1-3, whatever the 1-3 number was, and 1-4, whatever. But it's posted a 1-5-3. So I don't know. You can be down on it and say like, oh, people have not enough people have stuck around, or you can be more positive with it and say, actually, they had CM Punk managed to inflate the number to 188, and then once there was no Punk advertised, they managed to get it back to a 153. So 153 is obviously 100 and some thousand up on where they have been. So I don't know. I don't know that I look at that as necessarily a bad number. I mean, it's a bad number. It's a bad number because, as we've spoke about before, I remember the days where anything under 2 was a bad number. I remember earlier this year, before football, when we were doing 1-7, 1-8 very comfortably. SmackDown was doing 2.2 and Raw was doing 1-7, 1-8. Whereas now we've got football on and the numbers absolutely crashed by about 500,000. And we're down to like 1-3 something, 1-4 something now. So, I don't know. I mean, a 1-5 something, do you look at that as it's a downer that it's not better? Or do you look at it as a positive that it's not just gone back to that 1-3 or 1-4? I think it's up for debate, to be honest. I think that there'll be people all on that scale. Like, some will say, no, it's all right. It hasn't completely fallen again. And some will say, should have been higher. You know, they should have kept more of that inflation that they saw for CM Punk. So I think I'd be more leaning towards, it's all right. 1-5-3. If they could keep that. If they can not go, I mean, 1-3. Oh, Jesus. At least it didn't go back down to that. So if they can just keep that 1-5 and try and build upon it, and hopefully once we get out of this year, try and knock back on the door of 1-7, 1-8. I don't know. It's just sad. It just makes me sad. I just miss the days where there was like 2 million people that were tuning in. Even when football was on. Back in the day, we've always had football. We said this before. We've been competing against football since flipping Raw started in 93. So, football always gets blamed every year, but we've always competed against. It's not a new thing. It hasn't just arrived. We've been competing against it for 30 odd years. So, yes, it can take the blame as to why the numbers keep going down, but we have been we had to compete against it during the Attitude Era, and we were obviously posting great numbers back then, certainly incredible numbers compared to now, and during Ruthless Aggression. It's just unfortunately a sign of the times that it's just all declining, and it's all declining. How do you stop the rot? Do you know, I do worry a bit about that, because I wonder if there's just too much stuff now. You know, back in the day, you used to have to watch what was on TV. There was 5 channels or however many channels, and that was your selection. It was that, or read a book, or go and see friends, or whatever, or go to the cinema, right? And then obviously video gaming was coming in, so you had that as another option. But now, I mean, I was looking at that Grand Theft Auto trailer, and I was honestly thinking, I was like, man, when that drops, what's that going to do to the numbers? Because there's so much excitement around that game, and it's such a time-consuming game Honestly, I was sat thinking, like, I don't know what this community is going to look like when that game comes out, because I wouldn't be surprised if people skip Raw and SmackDown and whatever because GTA's out and I want to complete it, and so like they're going to put the time into that game. Vince said a long time ago, and people had a go at him for this, but he was right. He said a long time ago, our competition isn't other wrestling companies. Our competition is everything. Everything is our competition. We're competing against video games. We're competing against streaming. We're competing against Netflix. We're competing against YouTube. We're competing against whatever was big at the time, Fortnite, whatever. And he's right. He's absolutely right. Anything that's big and is going to grab people's attention and take people's attention away from wrestling, whatever it is, doesn't matter that it's another wrestling company. It could be GTA 6. And when that comes out, that's going to take people away from wrestling. Could be football. Could be the World Cup. Could be Olympics. Could be anything. So I must admit, I was looking at that trailer and I was really impressed with what I saw. To the point where I was like, man, even I want to have a go at this game. Look at it. It looks amazing. And I was like, man, something like 35 million views in 10 hours or whatever it was. I don't know. It was some crazy number in a very short time. The level of excitement for that game. A trailer at the end of 2023 for a game that comes out in 2025 has like really caught attention, as you would imagine. And yeah, I mean that's gonna affect everything as well. So it's just hard, man. Everyone, think of all the different YouTube channels that are putting up every new video that gets uploaded onto YouTube. And there's how many, God knows how many of those. But everyone, when it's uploaded, that person is hoping that people are going to watch it. And that person is hoping that it's going to get engagement. Every live stream is hoping that people are going to join. And so, like, the competition, it's not decreasing. It's just getting more and more. It's limitless. There's limitless amount of channels that could be on YouTube. There's limitless amount of streaming platforms that may emerge. Like, are we getting to the point where people have got so many options that eventually everyone's just going to attract no numbers apart from maybe Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast and T-Series, they're the only channels that are going to survive. Because everything's going to just get thinned out, isn't it? Everything's just going to get completely, like, just completely saturated. I don't know. It's scary, man. It's scary. Scary that, like, this is... Because that will mean that... I mean, that will have a massive effect. If we ever get to that point where there's not enough viewers for the content that's being made... it will get to the point where channels have to shut down because they won't be sustainable, and then actually there'll be this heart attack moment where it'll streaming platforms will have to shut because they won't have enough attention. Channels will have to shut because they're not getting enough attention, and then it will actually start to shrink back down again. So I still feel like we're expanding. But there'll come a point, and I don't know when that point will be. Might not be in my lifetime. Don't know. But there'll come a point where it won't be sustainable. And then it will start shrinking back down again. But at the moment, it's just expanding and expanding and expanding. So, yeah, it's, ratings. This is why I think that, obviously, I'm in that battle as well as, like, I'm a streamer. And we stream all the time. And I'm very grateful that people join the channel. But I do have a degree of sympathy for like AEW and for WWE when they're battling for ratings. I do have that sympathy because I know what that fight is like. I know what that's I know what it's like when you're not battling, but like I suppose in a way you're trying to get people to join the conversation and join the stream and engage and have a good time, of course. But there's a lot of places that are trying to do that. It's tough. It's really, really tough. It's really difficult. And sadly, I think it's only going to get harder and harder and harder for everyone. AF Chris said GTA will be overrated. Every AAA developer has put out subpar games in the last 3 years. Even Spider-Man 2 had issues. Big Time said GTA 6 has took 11 years to make. J-Love said, I saw the GTA 6 trailer. They got Florida down packed. Tritum said the counterpoint to that is look at WWE's YouTube presence and other social media. The YouTube channel is in the top 10 in the world. That is crazy. Yeah, so as we're seeing the TV ratings decline, as all TV ratings seem to be declining, it's because people are getting their content from other places rather than just TV. And you're right, that means that people that used to watch the shows will now gladly watch highlights and, get that content from YouTube, get it from TikTok. There's people that don't watch the news and they get their news from TikTok. I mean, that's quite scary because that means that John that lives down the street can basically be telling people what the news is rather than a proper broadcaster that's got like dedicated journalists, dedicated team. That's I understand, like, people will say, yeah, but there's a bias with that. John's going to tell me the truth. Well, John might have a bias as well, and John might not be as informed. John might not have sources. He might just be reading stuff off the internet and then relaying it. And we might not know how good those sources are. And so that is a whole side of things that's quite scary. So again, this whole misinformation side of things is, I don't know, it's a pretty scary time when it comes to stuff like that. Because a lot of people getting their news from TikTok and getting their news from sources which just aren't very reliable means that there could be more and more misinformation doing the rounds, and that can't lead to it. That can't be a good thing. That can't be a good thing. But then you'll have your conspiracy theorists that say that the government controlled the news and the government tell you what they want you to know and all this kind of stuff. So that's maybe a wormhole we don't need to be going down. But I agree. I think the conversation around wrestling and its place in the modern world and TV ratings and its social media presence and how that content is consumed, I think that's a fascinating conversation. It's one that we touch on quite a lot. I think it's a fascinating conversation, and it's one that I would love to see someone do a real piece on it. I'd love to see someone with some facts and figures and numbers, and WrestleNomics could do an amazing piece looking at wrestling's relationship with TV, where the ratings have been, where they're going, where they're projected to go, what the future might look like. Like what does their social media presence actually mean? How does it relate to other sports? Is there a way that they can, like, how much money are they generating from that? You're not going to know bang on the dollar, but roughly. Is there room for growth? Where could that growth be? Where are the emerging markets? Is VR and the metaverse something that's going to be tangible, or is that just a damp squib? Is it just not worth it? Is that a no-go? Someone could do a really interesting piece on all of that, like deep dive stuff, which many people would probably find boring, but that's the kind of stuff I would find. Me and Big Time Baxter would find that fascinating. Everyone else would probably glaze over and be like, can we just talk about CM Punk? But me and Big Time would be there going, oh, this is really interesting. Right, we have begun, and we have started with the Iron Survivor ladies match. Here come the girls. Right, so this is Thea versus Fallon versus Roxanne versus someone else. Kiana. Right, in the chat, we'll do a poll. And, if they change these a little bit. A little bit. Right, who wins? Who wins? Is it going to be Roxanne? Is it going to be Kiana? Is it going to be Thea? Or is it going to be Fallon? Who wins? Who's going to get through? I am gonna. My prediction is going to be Fallon. That's going to be my prediction. And the reason is because I think Roxanne makes the most sense, but I think that she and Kiana will cancel each other out. And then I think it's down to Thea and Fallon. Thea, I think, could be involved in this Chase You controversy. And what's Fallon got going on? She hasn't really got anything. So I'm thinking Fallon. There's not really much else going on for her at the moment. And I think she's someone that they want to push. She's a talent. They like her. It's not that she's a jobber not going to get anywhere. They like her. But yeah, Kiana and Roxanne, I think that they will ensure each other don't win it. So as I said, it will come down to Fallon and Thea. And Thea could get it. But with this Chase You thing going on, I'm thinking she's caught up in some other business at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see. Over in the corner goes Kiana. She gets smacked in the face. I'm not a fan of multi-person matches. I've said this before. I think they're just spot fests. But I don't mind it when it's like this. They're all battling, trying to qualify for a final spot. They're all trying to battle and get into this final spot. I don't need to see them working together doing like, you know that spot where there's a suplex and a power bomb and they're all like all four people in the corner, and they love that spot in multi-person matches. Or the three waiting on the outside, the other cross-bodies them on the outside. If I was Triple H, spots like that would be banned. I love the intensity that I'm seeing at the moment, though. I love the fact that they're just breaking up the pins, hurling each other around. I feel like I'm watching a scrap at the moment. I really like that. So there's a nice intensity right now to the match. It's got a lovely energy to it. It feels quite believable. I feel like all four women are trying to be the one to get the win and get that final spot. So I don't mind in these ones. I really don't. I'm normally a bit down on multi-person matches. But this one's got a nice energy to it. It's a nice way to start this week's NXT. And we'll see another one later as well. And that's going to be the guys. The guys are going to be in action later. That's going to be Carmelo Hayes against Eddy Thorpe, against Joe Coffey, against Tyler Bate. William, shout out to you. I'm sorry to hear that you coughed. Jedam said, I'll probably be Roxanne Kiana at Deadline, so for me it's either Thea or Fallon. Q the Light Knight said, at least we know Sonya's not winning. Okay, we are at commercial break. I've seen so many YouTubers use a platform to build their brand. When YouTube views go down, they start averaging 54,000. They stop posting and ghost fans. They come back after 6 months and they've lost everyone, says Big Time. I think, to be honest, I think it's really difficult. YouTube can be very challenging because there's new people coming to the platform all the time, like all the time. So it's an ever-changing landscape, and yes, it's very, very easy for you to lose a community. Very easy. I suppose in a way that's why like we don't ever stop. We don't ever take it for granted. It's like we're here for Raw, we're here for SmackDown, we're here for NXT. We do streaming all the time. I mean, you know what? But yeah, it's so easy for it all to just fall apart. So easy. So yeah, definitely. I very much appreciate, as I keep saying, very much appreciate people joining us, because this is definitely something which, I mean, never in my life did I imagine this was a thing that would be even possible. Couldn't even imagine this when I was a kid. You know, the internet was not even something I was really aware of. I'd heard of it, but didn't really know what it was or what it was about. And back then it was very limited. And there was sites you could go to, but You know, I mean, like, it was one of them where it was dial-up when I first got on the internet, and if you wanted to see a picture, it was, you actually saw each line coming in as it was loading. It wasn't just boom, there's the picture. Dial-up meant it was coming through your telephone line, and it had little bandwidth. I mean, the data that was coming through was minuscule, to the point where a picture would have to load line by line, and it was painful, man. It was if you wanted to download like a track, if there was like a track on there, a music track, it would take forever. It would take ages. I mean, I can't give you an exact time, but if someone was to tell me it would take an hour for it to get a download track, I'd believe it. I'd believe it. Like a 2.5 minute track to listen to a song, if you wanted to download it, it would take like an hour or something. It was so slow. So the idea that you could get a camera and stream out live and have people join you and join in a chat and all, no way. What? Oh, look what the... NXT. Right. But the SmackDown hotel site is pretty good. They keep track of face and heel turns, said TBH. Russell said, Daze, was Theory's Money in the Bank run the best or worst? What if he still had the briefcase? Would he cash in on Steph? His run was, well, I can't really talk about his run with it, because the run, it was not irrelevant, but really it's about when you cash it in, isn't it? All those little teases of you cashing in, they're fun, but they don't really amount to much. So just looking at his cash-in moment, it is the worst. There is, in my opinion, there is not a worse cash-in than his. He cashed in on a mid-card belt, not even a world title, which that Money in the Bank allows you to do. He cashed in on a mid-card belt, and he failed. He lost. And then he ended up winning it not that long after anyway. I mean, it was just, so he didn't even need the Money in the Bank. Didn't even need it to get the belt that he was trying to cash in on. I mean, it was just awful in every respect. And people at the time were telling me, like, no, it's good because it's going to change his character. They're going to use this to make him more serious. He's going to be upset about losing it. And my point at the time was, listen, if you want to change his character, there's a billion ways that you can do it. You don't have to have the worst cash-in ever to get to that point. So it was rubbish. And he couldn't still have it now because it's only valid until the next Money in the Bank event. So he couldn't have it now. Kiana is getting up on the barricade. Roxanne is over by the barricades. Roxanne grabs the leg of Kiana. Look at that, right in front of a couple of kids. Loving what they're seeing at the moment as Roxanne and Kiana throwing in some shots. Teetering they are. I feel like they're both going through that commentary table. Look, Kiana's wobbling. She's gone and she pulls. She pulls Kiana through that commentary table as well. Both of them women are down. Holy. Well, they love that. They love that. Them two women battling away on the barricades, going through the commentary table. Back in the ring, we've got Fallon and Thea. Thea rolling up Fallon. Thea goes over against the ropes. Fallon, knee strike by Fallon, goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Fallon Henley gets the win. And the poll in our chat said, 48% went Roxanne, 19% said Thea, 16% said Kiana, 15% said Fallon Henley. But it's Fallon Henley that picks up the victory. Do you know what? They caught where the table actually joins. Where the table joins the edge, they sort of hit here. Like, that is not the best place to hit. You want to hit, like, further down, like, far away from this bit as possible, the support. But they hit, like, here. Thankfully, the table does give, but I bet that was a bit stiff, you know. I bet that was a bit moody. So Thea is being comforted at the moment by JC. So first one down. We've got our men's one coming up, but there is Ilja. Fallon is a Dollar Tree Mickey James, said Dark Angel. TikTok. Miss Jackson, the meta version is better tonight, will be easy money. Ceiling challenge. The hell's a ceiling challenge? It's one of them new challenges, isn't it? It's one of them things. Kelly Kincaid and Lyra Valkyria. I've never even heard of a ceiling challenge. Lyra said she is going to Deadline. Oh, here's Lola. I can cash in this contract whenever I want. I'm ready whenever you are. Oh, Fallon? Fallon does look a lot like JC Jane now she's changed her hair. Oh, are we getting a tag match? Okay. Well, Tatum Paxley, sorry. Tatum Paxley was there. She looks a lot like JC. Ah, Wes has got an injury. Oh, it's all happening. Yeah, Tatum Paxley has changed her hair. She looks a lot like... She looks a lot like JC Jane now. She looks a bit Sister Abigail. It was interesting. Lola said that she can cash in for a title opportunity. So it's a like Money in the Bank. She could cash in on Lyra for the women's title. Elektra Lopez said, or she could also cash it in for the women's tag titles. So teasing that we can go either way with that. I'm not sure what that's building to. I don't know if we're just going to get a tag match. It felt like Lyra and Tatum may be taking on Elektra and Lola, or it could just be Lola against Tatum. But either way, interesting. Lola has got that contract, so I don't know that she'll be successful. She still feels very, very green, very green. But she is someone they have got super high hopes for. She was actually... They did a ticket launch for tickets for WrestleMania 39. Don't know if you ever caught this. It's really good. They do a ticket launch event in July of 2022 as the tickets go on sale for WrestleMania 39. It's the show where Snoop gets his gold belt. And it was on YouTube. It was live streamed. I think it's on the network as well. And there's matches. You get like Los Lotharios against Street Profits. And you get Raquel Rodriguez against Nikki Cross. And Austin Theory takes on someone. I can't remember who. And Seth was there. Becky was there. Bianca was there. And they were basically launching... who was on Miz TV on that show? Flipping Jojo Siwa. If you've not seen it, it's the kind of shows I love. I love those shows. Those little... They're like side quests. It's not Raw. It's not SmackDown. It's not a premium live event. But it is still a show of some description tucked away at the side. I love those. Love those. So yeah, like that was a big deal, live streamed to launch tickets for WrestleMania 39, and she was there. Lola Vice was there. They actually had her on stage. I don't think there was any other NXT talent there, but they were talking about how there was this big new sign-in they had made, and they brought her out. So, like, she is someone that has kind of caught the eye, shall we say. She's a good-looking girl. She's a MMA fighter. I think she came from Bellator. MMA fighter. So she's got good striking. And she's learning professional wrestling. Like, they're really putting the work into her. So she was my prediction to win that breakout tournament. And she did. And I was basing that on the fact that I know they've got high hopes for her. So I don't know that when she cashes in, she's going to win that women's title. She might not win it the first time of asking, but I would not be surprised to see her be a future women's champion. Totally expect her to get called up at some point. Not even saying in the near future, but I don't expect her to be someone that doesn't make it. I think that she makes it. I think she goes to the main roster. I think they really like her. So Lola Vice, definitely keep an eye on what she's doing. TBH said, damage control against the 4 horsewomen would be a banger. We just need Bayley to turn face soon. Yeah, we also need Sasha back, don't we? She put that training video out the other day. I don't know what the song was, but it was a killer song. Really like the track that she used. And it was shot really well. I thought it was just going to be footage of her just running the ropes. And to a degree it was. But it was a lot more like cinematic. You see her walking in with a bag. Then you see her tying up her boots. Then you see her like in the corner taking some deep breaths. And then like you see her rolling and like you've got like this track in the background. Like it was a well done, well edited presentation. I thought when I heard that she'd released some training footage that it was literally just her training. That was it. I didn't think that she had put in that kind of that work. I don't know that she had. She probably got someone to do it for her, of course. Hey, look, here's Wes Lee. This might be interesting. He is in the ring, and he has also got... That's gotta be Kane! He's got a walking stick. Don't look good, this. Don't look good. We're 4 days away from Deadline. So he said, I was imagining smacking Dirty Dom all around the arena. So he said he was imagining hearing the and new. Okay, we've got a situation here, guys. I don't want anyone getting upset. I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it. Unfortunately, it's not happening like that. I don't say this out of uncertainty or doubt. One-on-one. Man-to-man. Rey Mysterio can't handle the heart from the king of the West Side. Where are we going? Mystery person. Mystery person? Where are we going? Yeah. He's upset. He's fired up. He's emotion. I hear you. But I need to know where we're going. That support won't help me right now. It won't bring back the feeling to my legs. Wow. He's crying? He's actually he's crying? He needs surgery and time. I don't know when you'll see me again. Man, look at the tears. Tears streaming down his face. God, I really feel for him. I think I don't think he's. If he's working, he's the great. He deserves an Oscar. I don't think he's working. He says, "I don't know when you'll see me again." I'm far from being done, says Wes. He's had some big setbacks, hasn't he? Think of his career. But now, I'll see you later. Tears streaming down his face. Here's Dirty Dom. Oh! This is cruel. This is cruel. Oh, Wes is going home. Oh, God. I love it, but it's cruel. Do you know what? There's something beautiful about the art of bullying. And, oh, God. It looks like you can barely stand. They are booing. This is cruel. I believe this guy is legit injured and legit out for a long time. Tears coming down his face. And Sean's gone, do you mind if we have Dom come out after to berate you and, like, make fun of you? And Wes, because he's such a nice guy, has gone, no, do it. Do it. Get the heat. Watch what I do with this title. If you won't be at Deadline, then I guess I've got the night off. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You won't have a match with me at Deadline. But you are still in a match. Who, though? Huh? Ray! Ray's on screen! Okay. I'll be at Deadline. So it's not against Ray. I'm thinking Dragon Lee. That man is my brother. The future Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee. So Dominic is going to be defending against Dragon Lee. That person is my brother, the future of Lucha Libre, Dragon Lee. So Dragon Lee has made his way down. Just felt like they were going to use a name from the main roster. Dragon Lee is someone that's not quite established on the main roster. He's not long out of NXT. Felt like he's got more star power because he's been used on SmackDown than like an Axiom, right? Or a Nathan Frazier. And I think that this weekend could do with a sprinkle of star power. Dragon Lee might not bring you much star power, but I get why they've gone that way. Does he win the title, though? Does he win the title? I mean, he could. He could win the title because Dominic is the one that's on TV with the championship. Okay, we are backstage. Oh, yeah, I don't know her name. Roxanne and Kiana are battling backstage. Oh, it's all happening. Oh, there's Ava. Is Ava making matches now? I don't understand. It's official for Saturday. I've made the match. You want each other? It's official. So Ava looks like she's just come from like the local Limp Bizkit meetup, which was good. Big baggy jeans, very new metal. So she's come from the local Limp Bizkit convention. And for some reason, she's under the impression that she's now got the ability to make matches. I'd love it if Shawn Michaels appeared and went, "What are you? What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't make matches." A flip. Ava just floating around. Dragon Lee needs to stay in NXT because there's just not that many to work with on the main roster. Kiana Roxanne in a last woman stand-in match, said James. Book it. Well, I can't, but I know a woman that can. Ava, Ava, Ava. She can book it. She can totes book it. I'ma fall in love. Right, I feel like this is a video. There was a lot to unpack there. An awful lot to unpack. And we can unpack it right now together. I've got 3 images, have I? Bang, bang, bang. Why don't they slide in all lovely? They should slide in lovely, shouldn't they? Can I make them slides? Oh, I'll have to play around with that a different day. Breaking news coming out of NXT, and this was very emotional. Wes Lee made his way down to the ring, clearly in discomfort, and began crying. He was emotional, very emotional, saying that he was not going to be able to compete against Dirty Dominic Mysterio this weekend. In fact, he needs surgery. He's out for a while. He doesn't know when he's going to be back, saying that he loves us all and is going to be not saying goodbye, but just see you soon. And yeah, I mean, he was in a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. Dirty Dom came out and was winding him up, bullying him, making fun of him, and said, "It looks like I've got the weekend off." This is when Wes said, "No, you don't have the weekend off. Let me throw over to someone that can give you more details." We actually cut to the screen where Rey Mysterio was. Rey Mysterio was on screen. And he then said that he was going to be at Deadline this weekend. I think people at first thought we were going to get Rey versus Dominic. That did flash through my mind, which would have been amazing. But sadly not. He is going to be there, and he is going to be in the corner of the person that's going to be taking on Dominic for that North American Championship, and it is Dragon Lee. Rey Mysterio referred to Dragon Lee as the future of Lucha Libre, called him his brother, and there's clearly a lot of love and respect between these two superstars. So Dragon Lee, who's not long out of NXT, is returning to NXT to see if he can win that North American Championship. There's a good chance that he could do it. A very good chance that he could do it. Obviously, Dominic has got that title, and he carries it on the main roster. There's no reason why Dragon Lee can't be the person to take it from him and continue showing it off, only this time on SmackDown. So yeah, big change. Heartbreak for Wes Lee, but a big opportunity for Dragon Lee. We have some people here in this breakout tournament. Luca Crucifino is someone that's been on our radar for a while. Do you remember he actually came down? Miles Bourne. Miles Bourne's been on our radar as well. There's a lot of people here I don't know, but I know Miles Bourne and we know Luca. Trey Bearhill I've never heard of. Obafemi, we've seen him before. Obafemi, Luca. It begins next week. The men's breakout tournament begins next week. Miles, there's about 3, maybe 4 names in there that I'm familiar with, but there's a lot of people I've not heard of. Tatum Paxley, look, they are really going. She could join up with Ilja and Alba, couldn't she? Look, she's even got like Bray colours on her leg. That's interesting, isn't it? She's definitely got Bray colours on her leg. She definitely gives off a very strong, like, Sister Abigail vibe. That was a direction I was not expecting her to go in. I could see there being some chatter around her and her chosen colour scheme and this new direction for her. Do you smell what Ava Rain is booking? Very good. I hope you put that on Twitter. That's excellent. If you smell what Ava is booking. Dun. Ava said. Ava said. Ava said. Lola Vice against Tatum Paxley. 1-on-1, baby. I think that's really... I wonder if it's been done to get people talking. I feel like it probably has. I don't know that it's leading to anything. It's just a very interesting colour scheme. Any black and red vertical stripes on someone that seems to be embracing their darker side is going to spark conversation. Tatum versus Lola. Let's go. I'm not falling in love. Okay, so Tatum on the outside of the ring. Tatum is over against the ropes. The man said Lola should be champion. Philip said Daze with Luke and Gallows appearing on main event. AOP and the Creeds getting pushed. Do you think Triple H is planning on building the tag division? Definitely. Definitely. I think he's been trying to build it for a while. I think there's been a few missteps. You know, I mean, he brought in Hit Row, for example. I think he probably had high hopes for them. And Viking Raiders. Obviously, there's been an injury there. He's been using Imperium more. He's put DIY back together. I think he's been putting pieces in places to try and build it up. The one thing which you could go, well, why did he do this then, is why did he break up the Usos? But I think that, to be honest, there was a bigger, something bigger in place for that. You know, that's part of a bigger story. Lola getting planted, but yeah, definitely, I think he's trying to build it up. So Lola still down. Tatum grabbing Lola. Wasn't it about a month or so ago that Ava tweeted goodbye or something? And then a few weeks she was randomly seen going into Sean's office. She was randomly seen going into Sean's office, yes. I don't like this development for her, of her now going into like an authority role. I don't like that for such a young talent. I mean, I suppose it's a way of getting her onto TV, but if you're going to use her in that role, doesn't she need to look smart? Dress smart? Rather than like she's just stepped out from 1999. I thought she was going to break into a version of Rolling. Bum 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 bum. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Never know you've been loving this right here. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Lola coming over, spinning back fist. Spinning back fist by Lola. And kick coming in by Lola. Oof, hip attack by Lola, very much in control. And going for the pin there on Tatum. We've had 40 minutes of this show already. And you know what? We have enjoyed it. We got a very emotional Wes Lee segment. Well, the women's match was okay. And Lola picks up the victory here as well. I think she's got new music as well, hasn't she? And she always dances. Oh, Elektra was holding that contract. And Lola snatched it away from her. There we go. Gotta get the dancing. What is she doing? She's got a feather. No, her hair. Tatum grabbed her hair in the corner and she was like... Here's Axiom and Nathan Frazier. A mask. Do you want this mask? Are they going to put him under a mask? Your face is going to look worse than mine does when I'm done with you. We saw a series of matches between them which were very good, but that's not a direction that I really want to go back to. I think it's a shame if we don't have anything else for them. Okay, here is Chase you. Shush. Shush, please. But one of those men should have faced Dirty Dom. Here's everyone's favourite mass superstar, says Benbow. Axiom. Am I the only one that thinks the male talent WWE is scouting for Breakout is not good compared to the women? I don't know because I haven't seen them, so I genuinely don't know. I only know 3, and Miles is pretty good. We haven't seen much of Femi. Who else would you be able to get for a breakout tournament? I mean, who else is out there? Don't know. It makes it hard to say if it's not of a good quality. How does Otis always manage to pull the baddies? Because he's the man. I mean, look, as someone that knows his way around a lady, sometimes you've got it. Yeah. Sometimes you've just got it. And Otis real recognizes real, and he's just got it. He just knows. If you are struggling on that front, feel free to join up with my 3rd channel, which is Dating Tips Days, where we give out all the hottest dating tips. Things like don't talk about the lady's weight on the first date. They don't appreciate it. It's good advice. It's good advice. Kappa said Max Dupree is a horrible older brother. Yeah, he's just completely... It's true, actually. He's just completely abandoned his sister, hasn't he? He's just completely abandoned her. It's a good point. He's awful. I think Tatum is too early to give a win to the breakout tournament. She didn't win it. It was Lola Vice that won it. But the breakout tournament is a tournament that doesn't massively mean much. It's a tournament that just basically says, this is someone that you need to keep an eye on. We've got high hopes for them. It is crazy that the prize is a title shot. Considering, like, the breakout tournament is like, oh, this is someone new that you don't really know we're really excited about. And, like, kind of crazy their prize is a title opportunity. I mean, they're only just starting. You would think they're nowhere near the level of fighting for a title. But I suppose you got to give them some sort of prize, you know? And what I will say is it does make for a very interesting match. I will say that. Well, I've said it. I've said it. Daze, I watched SmackDown with Randy returning. What if Randy signed both contracts? Adam and Nick would be happy and he could RKO both men, said Nolan. Well, I don't think he could. It's a good shout because, you know, Randy can do whatever Randy wants to do. But they were both exclusive contracts, weren't they? Thinking about it. Like, the contract said that I will sign exclusively to Raw. I will sign exclusively to SmackDown. They if you signed both, then neither would be. You wouldn't be able to uphold them. You know, you can't sign exclusively to two brands because you're not exclusive. So I don't think he could, to be honest, and he didn't. So he's on SmackDown now. And that's fine because it looks like CM Punk's going to sign exclusively to Raw. So that means that we've got something exciting on both shows. If you want to see more of Randy's story, tune in on a Friday. If you want to see more of CM Punk's story, tune in on a Monday. Here's Baron Corbin. Okay, Anonymous, backstage. We got Trick Willie talking to... Carmelo. I think Carmelo loses tonight. He's got an opportunity. He's got an opportunity to get into the match. But I think he will... fall short. Oh, Gacy. I just saw a fan behind shouting. And I was like, who's that? But it's Gacy. We love you. Oh, man, those kids. I feel so sorry for those kids. Those kids are sat like next to Gacy. Gacy's like, we love you. We love you. Ah. Man. Maybe those kids are loving it, actually. Those kids have had Roxanne and Kiana fighting right in front of them, then going through the commentary table. And now they've had Joe Gacy sat next to them. It's quite the day out, isn't it? Something to tell your mates back at school. Right, Metaphor are taking on Alpha Academy. Read my comment. Most PG and R-rated you will see tonight. Sonny, I love to make peace between women's physical and mental natures. Somewhere in the middle is where I set my sights. Literally, I bridged the gap, says William. That's beautiful, actually. That's actually poetic. I agree. Lovely. That's a lovely comment. You've done yourself proud there, bud. Okay, in the ring, we've got Jakara Jackson. Cheeky t-shirt, and it a couple of hands. Couple of hands printed on her shirt. Cheeky little number, that. Cheeky. Otis, Chad, and Maxine are going to be in action. They're going to be taking on Noam, Lash, and Oro Mensa. 6-person mixed tag match underway. I still want to see Joe Gacy and Nikki Cross team up, said Not JPEG. Trini said, back had to change a breaker. I just learned via video call how to do it, and the nurses were cracking up at me. That's wild. Look at you. Big Time said, Daze, look at WrestleNomics tweet. They've tweeted something interesting. Okay. We can do that. WrestleNomics. Thank you, big time. WrestleNomics. I'ma make you fall in love. Okay, so Chad in there with Oro Mensah. Mensah getting driven back to the corner. Leg sweep by Oro. Quarter hour breakdowns. Is that it? Quarter hour breakdowns. Arm drag by Chad. Oro getting back up to his feet, rolling. Chad grabs the leg. Is he going to go for the ankle lock? Mensah in there with Chad. Chad shooshes him. He flips Oro right the way round into the ankle lock. And Oro gets back. Are we going to see Lash coming in? I really want to see Lash. She was awful. She can't be as awful as she used to be. Otis steps in. Otis steps in. See, this is why he's a player. He saw Lash get in there and he was like, oh yeah. He thought to himself, I'll have a wrestle with that. But sadly, that's not in the rules. So it's Maxine that's in there now. Dupree. Whoa. Takes Lash over. Kick coming into the midsection by Maxine. She's trying to pick up Lash. Can't do it. Trying to pick up Lash again. Can't do it. Lash with a big blow to the back. Against the ropes goes Maxine. Lash catches her. They go back against the ropes. Lash throws Maxine. I mean, is that... There was nothing there. Here's Otis. Otis comes in. Noam comes in. Noam goes against the ropes. Lash goes down. There was nothing in that exchange from Lash. Otis charges over. Shots coming in by Noam. Big clubbing blows coming in by both guys. I'd love to know what an NXT week looks like. I mean, I've got to think they watch these shows back. Certainly their matches. I've got to think that they kind of break these matches down, you know? Have a real good look at them and... like, you could have done this, you could have done that with the trainers. We've got a big brawl on the outside. We're 7 minutes away from halftime scores. It's not ratings and quarters. I've tagged you in it. It's regarding something else. Okay. I can't see me tagged in anything. Is it this one about Mercedes could be heading back to WWE? So, Sean on a Fightful stream, is it this? Hang on. Still got my headphones plugged in from the web. Okay, so Sean says, I think there's... Okay, so this clip... Make of this whatever you will, right? But Sean says, I think there's more of a chance of Mercedes coming back to WWE than he thought in August. when there was a working plan for her in AEW. He said, and when I followed up on that, I haven't been told of anything. So I think let's have a look. If we search Mercedes. Zombie Mercedes. All this Mercedes talk lately. Excuse me whilst I leave this here. Rumors that Mercedes could be on her way back to WWE. I would love that, said Physics Wrestling. I'm not surprised Mercedes got a higher shot to WWE than before. You know that Triple H wants her to be a big help that Bayley needs against Damage Control. Okay. Well, I mean, look, my take on it is I think she goes to AEW. I think there's a plan in place for her with AEW. I think they're just listening to what Sean's got to say. He's saying, I think there's a better chance of her going to WWE than I thought, because I've asked around and I can't find anything out about her going to AEW. But again, you know, we're coming off the back of CM Punk going to WWE when that was also not, you know, readily available to the dirt sheets. So apparently there was a plan for her to go to AEW in August, and now all of a sudden it's gone quiet. Could mean that those plans have changed, or it could mean that AEW are just keeping their cards close to their chest. So I don't think that's much of a development. He just can't really find out anything at the moment. I suppose in a way it's just a fancy way of dressing up. I can't find anything out. Do you know anything about Mercedes? I can't find anything out. I heard some stuff back in August, but it's gone quiet now. It's basically what that news is. But he's put a little, I think her chances are better now because I haven't heard anything, which of course is what gets the headline. So don't really read too much into that. And you're right, people are picking up on it. I can see this clip is being shared around, but to be honest, if you actually boil it down, what's he saying? He's saying, I heard something in August and now I can't find anything out. That's what it boils down to. I still feel good that there's an agreement there and that she ends up going to AEW, but I know a lot of people really want to see her back in WWE now, and certainly because Bayley is in a story where she could benefit from having Mercedes around. You know, if Bayley comes out of Damage Control and Sasha was there to, you know, she could get Sasha back, it would be fantastic to play into that story. But the truth is that it's a story, and we can always find another way of Bayley needing Sasha. So yeah, it's good timing, and like people want that now because the timing feels like good timing. But it's a story, and we're in control of that. We can create another story where she's needed. It's just, is that agreement signed, sealed, and delivered with AEW? We'll have to wait and see. James said, in other words, there's no news. That is sort of how it seems, yeah. Wow, man. Lash just picked up and slammed Otis. Lash just scooped up and slammed. Everyone is shocked. Everyone is shocked. Maxine is perched. No, we need to see a replay of that. I need to see a replay of that. I didn't quite catch if he came off the ropes or if she just deadlifted him, but either way, that is so impressive. That is better than Hogan Andre. That is better than Hogan Andre. Yeah, he did come off the ropes. Oh, it's still sick, though. It's still sick. In fairness, that momentum, because normally you can use that momentum, there's a moment where that momentum meant nothing. You could actually see that, like, that momentum even stalled. She managed to get him up to about here, and you can see the struggle was real, but she managed to follow through. Amazing. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That'll be doing the rounds on social media. That is the best thing I've ever seen her do. That is the best thing that she's ever done. Ankle lock, and it's cinched in as well by Chad Gable. He's got a tap. He's got a tap. Surely, and he does. Alpha Academy pick up the win. And what a moment that is. What a moment. It's so good. If I can, I want to show you the clip. Jesus. Here's, randomly, here's social media. Oh, boom! That is sick, man. That is sick. You see that moment where it's like, you can, the struggle is real. You can feel that struggle is real. Amazing. Amazing. Right. Oh, is this Gallus? So they're drinking out of tankards. Chad had it scouted for the win, said Jadam. So we got Hank and Tank stepping up to Gallus boys. Dark Angel said, I'll be the first to say it. I couldn't slam Otis. Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm right there with you, actually. I'm trying to think, him coming off the ropes, you'd be like, oh, God, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. That is so impressive. How much does he weigh? And the struggle was real, man. He's listed as weighing 150 kg. $150K. Here's Ava. Steel cage. Roxanne and Kiana in a steel cage match. It would have been lovely, and maybe I missed it, but it would have been great if someone could have just told us that Ava is now in the authority position. You know, if Sean could have just given us just a moment, just 30 seconds, just so you know, everyone. She is going to be, like, helping me out now because there's so much on my plate. Like, that would have been brilliant. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed it. I don't think I did. I'm gonna make you fall in love. Wow, what a time to be alive. Rangers are now officially a part of WWE canon, said Wrestle with Andy. Well, at least they got Summit going for them. She really is booking. Do you reckon she actually is booking? That's what she does now. She doesn't just do it on the show. She's actually booking behind the scenes. She's the big boss lady. The big boss lady. She should wear from Cobb County, Georgia. Like that with a nightstick. Let's go. That would be a wild gimmick, man. I called it with Carmelo texting Lexus, said Nicole. James said, we must have missed that memo. That slam. I'm going to dream of that slam. I am dreaming of it. There's so many NXT factions and talent I can't see doing well on the main roster. Look at Ciampa and Gargano, one of the greatest NXT stars ever, and they are struggling on Raw. Well, yes and no. I think in regards to Ciampa and Gargano, I think they will get there. I just think the truth is that if you're big in NXT, it doesn't mean you're big on the main roster. I think that this is why when they debuted people the night after WrestleMania, they would get a good reaction, because WrestleMania brings out everyone from around the world. I mean, if you're going to get on a plane and travel to WrestleMania, chances are you're a pretty big wrestling fan. Like that, you're spending a bit of money there, aren't you, to go from the UK or Europe or India or Australia or wherever, right? And WrestleMania attracts people from all over the world. All over the world. And I think if you go in, you're going to Raw as well. So that Raw crowd is one of the most switched on, most knowledgeable crowds of the year as a result. And so they will know NXT stars. I'm sure they watch NXT stars. And so this is why when they came out on Raw, they would get good pops, good reactions, right? I don't think that's reflective of the rest of the year, though. I think that when you go to all these different places, I think it's families, it's people that are casuals, it's people that watch once in a while, or and wrestling's coming to town, or do you want to go and see the wrestling? It's coming to town time, kind of a thing. I think there is a lot of people that don't interact with NXT. And so Johnny and Tommaso have come up and, yeah, they've had support, and there's definitely people in the crowd that know who they are. But it is start again, to be honest. It is start again. I mean, you can point to a Johnny and you can point to a Tommaso and say, oh, they're struggling a little bit. But you could also point to a Charlotte. You could point to a Becky. You can point to a Bianca. You know, you can point to LA Knight. You can point to all these different people that are massively popular and over that also came from NXT. I think everyone goes on a different journey. I think some will go up and not make it. You know, some will get called up and will struggle. And for some, it will take a long time for them to get established. And for some, they might not make it at all. But for some, they will make it. I think that Johnny and Tommaso are having to kind of start from the bottom again, really. They were big stars in NXT. Doesn't really translate to the main roster. And so now we've got to get going with them again. But they're so skilled and they're so good at what they do. I think that as time goes by, they will get there. It's just that, you know, we're, I suppose in a way, just starting out with them. They need a run on the show rather than being used one week and then not used. And Johnny, I mean, he had an injury and everything, so he went missing for quite a while. So, yeah, I mean, look, you're not wrong. NXT is a mixed bag. What you're watching right now will be people that don't get out of NXT, but will be people that go to the main roster and don't make it. People that go to the main roster and do all right, bob around, Dana Brooke, Elias, Lacey Evans, them type people, right? That stick around for a few years, around the bottom end of the cards, never quite get to anywhere, and eventually get axed. But, you know, they get called up and they survive, and they, you know, they get some stories and whatever. But then there'll also be people that, you know, establish themselves and are good mid-carders, and then there'll be people that main event. So you've got a bit of everything in NXT. It's quite the mixed bag. We've got a deadline. There's a QR codes. What's that QR codes? What's the QR codes? I mean, they're not hiding it, so I'm guessing it just takes you to some ticket sales or something. I don't know. QR code under the NXT Deadline thing on the plinth. I don't know if anyone got it. Tell you what, if it's not there when we go back, that'll be interesting. But the fact it's so obvious, I think means it's probably tickets or something. Someone scan it, quick. It's reminding me of White Rabbit. Scan it, scan it, scan it, scan it. Has anyone scanned it yet? You have an opportunity to quickly respond. Can I scan it? I got a question, said Bishop. Fire away. I've got a question. What's this QR code? This is Tiffany. I can't scan it. Only on screen for like a second. I am the future. Tiffany. I'm the only one in this ring that's had the NXT Women's Championship. I scanned it. It says Edge is coming back. Oh my God. On this day, I see clearly. Guys, I just scanned it. It says Tony Khan's a loser. I can't scan it. I'm too far away. Too far away. The summit is underway. The QR code takes you to... here it is. There we go. So, Xylot Theme said, this is what the QR leads you to. See you at Deadline. Get your tickets. Watch on Peacock. Does it play something? No. So that's what it takes you to. See you at Deadline. Oh, what, you thought it was something good? We said it was so obvious that we thought it would be tickets. Proves to be tickets. Here's Lash. Did you see earlier when she did that slam? Sick. Tiffany needs to be on the main roster. Women. So Lash is just having a word here with Tiffany. Hello? Haven't you seen me with the Heritage Cup champion Noam Dar? What is this going on, isn't there? I'm... Oh, bougie. Is that still a word? Bougie? Haven't heard bougie in forever. Tell you what, Kalani Jordan, man. That's my pick. Which is the best. So we got Tiffany, we got Lash, we got Blair, we got Fallon, we got Kalani. I like the lineup. There's not like a super obvious winner. I mean, you could look at Tiffany, I suppose, but she's already had a run with the title. They might want to give someone else a bit of a go. Blair is someone that they've clearly got high hopes for. My real pick would probably be Blair. The person I want would be Kalani. Blair said, talking about how she put Sol Ruka and Nikita Lyons on the shelf. Fallon interrupts Blair. I'm gonna make you fall in love. Hopefully Wendy Chu returns. Oh, yeah. I like Wendy Chu. You don't vote against Tiffy, said Kappa. My pick is Fallon. I haven't got any beef with you, Kalani. I'm pumped up after my victory tonight. You have about a 0% chance of winning, says Tiffany. Tiffany's not even the best Tiffany on that stage. Fallon was a better Tiffany. I know you didn't just cut me off. Tiffany's like, I did, get over it. Oh, God, this is what women are like. Well-behaved women seldom make history. Did she just yeet? Can't do that. Did she just yeet? She's not allowed to do that. Oh, she might have said yee-haw, actually. That's more her thing. She's very Dukes of Hazzard. Or is that's more a yippee-ki-yay, actually, is it not? Don't know. I'm just really glad it's over. It was not the best thing I've ever seen, but it probably beats the tea segment from the other week. Do you remember? Where Lyra and Xia Li had some tea, and that was literally all that happened. This is tradition. We drink tea. Thank you. You're welcome. See you in the match, yeah? That was it. That was it. That was the segment. This is bad, says Mitchell. Can we get some matches? Poor Byron. Tea time. That segment was a whole lot of yapping. Cat fight. Commercial break. Not JPEG said called it. Brony said, I don't think I've ever seen Byron get mad. Well, do you know what? It wasn't that long, in all fairness, that segment, so it's fine. It's fine. Not offended. I'm all right. I lived through it. I survived. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. We've got the men's match coming up. I wonder if they'll do that same segment for the guys later. They might do. I wonder if that's how we close the show. Byron's made it all the way from Game Show NXT, said Wrestle with Andy. Yeah, he's someone that knows NXT very well, doesn't he? He's an NXT OG. I wonder if he should go in the Mount Rushmore of NXT. Byron Saxton. WWE AEW fan said the Red Sox traded Alex Verdugo. Oh my God, no. To the Yankees for Richard Fitz. Idiots. Idiots. Verdugo for Fitz. Jokers. Greg Weisert and Nicholas Judas for all of the NBL fans in this stream. Well, hang on. So Fitz, Weiser, and Judas for Verdugo. Jokers. Amateurs. They need Trout. That's what they need. They need Trout. Or Rodriguez. Then, you know, they're faffing around. I just ain't got the time for the Major League Baseball. They don't know what they're doing. Trini says, Daze, you know the case of the missing Glenda is still open. With Scotland Yard, don't give them ammunition with these banners. Well, they are women. I wasn't lying. I couldn't be bothered to write all the names. But I don't know that case is still open. If you've not heard the case of Glenda, she went missing by a lake. Very unfortunate. She happened to be my wife at the time. And I got quite the payout. And if someone wants to stir a bit of trouble, wants to make some insinuations, that's on you. Yeah? That's on you. You leave me and my Porsche alone. Right, coming up next, we have got... Who's this? Axiom. I don't remember him having that. I remember this bit. Here's Axiom. Is it Axiom Nathan Frazier tonight, is it? Axiom Nathan Frazier, I think, coming up next. In a match that no one was asking for, but should still entertain. Wrestling Andy said they should have traded for Babe Ruth. The chocolate bar. Let's go. MLB sucks. It's a cheap-ass rounders. Jobson said we're averaging more than one round of commercials every 10 minutes. A WTF? The three guys are prospects, and Verdugo is a major leaguer, said WWE AEW fan. Listen, he's a boomer. That's what he is. He's done. He's washed. Yeah, those three prospects are a lot more exciting. It's a ridiculous draft. It's a ridiculous draft. I'm pleased that you're excited, but I do not share that same level of excitement, let me tell you. It's a backward step. That's what it is. And I will not celebrate backward steps. Talking of backwards is Mitchell. I had to find a way of getting from that comment to this comment, and that was, presented itself. What do you want me to do? Mitchell said, Daze, nothing beats that tea party. Not even Sean Taker at WrestleMania 25. Deep down, I bet all Sean wanted was a tea party with The Undertaker. Well, you too can have a tea party with The Undertaker with his new podcast, 6 Feet Under, which is on YouTube. And there's videos where you can listen to him talk about his Mount Rushmore of little wrestlers. And no, I don't think he calls them little wrestlers. I think he calls them small wrestlers. And other such things. Like when he shared a room with the Iron Sheik and all this kind of stuff. So it's basically the same as having a tea party with him. And that's on YouTube now. I think you can subscribe to his podcast and get it all like early and everything, but do you really want to do that? Do you need to do that? We've waited 30 odd years for these stories. You can wait a little bit longer and they'll hit YouTube eventually. So, Mitchell, shout out to you. Deep down, I'm sure he did want that tea party, but now he can have something even better. 1, 2, shoulder up by Axiom. Kojiko says, oh, booty cheeks, booty cheeks. I gotta love them cheeks, cheeks line up. Panda contaminated for Fernanda, who ha Michael, pickled pickle. To be honest, I'm a bit disappointed because once you started off with Booty Cheeks, I really thought we were going into a song. I thought we were going into a song called Booty Cheeks, and I was so here for that. Oh, booty cheeks, I gotta love them cheeky cheeks. Booty cheeks, I gotta love them cheeky. Hey, talking to cheeky cheeks. Here come the girls. Got a big brawl on the outside as the Iron Survivor Challenge women are brawling away. It's interrupted. Axiom Nathan Frazier. This match cannot continue. I'm glad we gave it little attention. Blair is... Oh, here's Nikita. Nikita comes out with a big boot. Nikita Lyons returns. Never crazy about this girl. I was never crazy about her. She can strike. Right, Chase you. Here we go. Chase you. Right. Okay. Assembly. Nothing to celebrate. This institution has been rocked. The person is me. The person who put the university in severe debt is me. Academic probation. What does that mean? There's a few sanctions. This is the most boring story I've ever seen. If you enroll in Chase U, you don't get academic financial support. How much do you owe? Financial aid is no longer available to new students. He owes hundreds of thousands of dollars. How is he still in a position? Is this the most boring story ever? We've got to the point where new students can't get financial aid if they join, like... Who wrote this? A flipping lawyer? An accountant? An accountant wrote this story. Other than selling my trophy, and I ain't selling my trophy, is there anything else we can do? A bake sale? Oh, JC's got an idea. Car wash. These students are idiots. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, bake sale, car wash. Ah, she's seen someone she likes the look of. He is a bit distracted as this dude has... I don't know. I'm confident we can get through this, says Andre Chase. Wow. I'm locked in, says Mello. I need answers, says Trick. Let me handle this. And we'll talk after. Trick Mello gang is suffering some drama. This is your last chance, and Mello says, who you telling? Wow, the drama this week. Jeez. Academic probation. No funding for new students. I mean, wow. I didn't see that coming. I also didn't see coming that Andre Chase was going to take responsibility and say it was me. I did wonder. I was listening out because I thought, is he going to say I'm to blame? Because it's my university, and like he's not the real reason. He's the name above the door, so it's his fault. I thought, is that where we're going? But no, I think he is saying he is the one that gambled, which is such a shame because I thought the idea I saw of it being Duke Hudson, and Duke Hudson, we've seen gambling in the past, was a good shout, and it would be a great way of pulling the trigger on Duke Hudson, who, in my mind, is really getting left behind. You know, he's been nowhere near a singles world title. you know, he was someone that was a singles wrestler and was really competing with the likes of Braun and like others, Von Wagner and whatever, around that time of 2.0 as being like, who's going to be the person that takes this company? Who's going to be the one that becomes champion? And Duke was in the mix. And since then, he's been pushed into Chase U and sort of left. So, yeah, I did. I really thought this was going to be a way of breaking him. Maybe it still will. But, yeah, this story not quite going the way that I was expecting. We need to try and find a way of repaying this money. Bake sale and car wash, I just don't think is going to do it, to be honest. But let's see. As has been pointed out, we did just put women for the Women's Survivor Iron Woman Survivor Challenge qualifier Survivor. So we'll do men for this next one. I don't need to be cancelled for sexism. Thank you. Mitchell said, guys, clearly Andre was betting on every Roman match that Roman would lose his title, whilst also betting that Tozawa would win the Rumble. Do you know what? It would be fun, actually, to find out if that's what he was betting on. Was he betting on, what was he betting on? If he said that he was betting on wrestling, you could have some real fun with that. If he was betting on things and things that obviously we now know didn't come true, but he could say, like, I bet all my money on that CM Punk wasn't coming back to WWE. I read a load of stuff on the internet and I bet my money that CM Punk wouldn't be coming back. And it happens. And now we're in this mess. Yeah, you could have some real fun with that. You could have some real fun with that. Godfather's host said, Daze, I'm very lifted. I'm very dranked off that Oddities tag team. Do you remember Bad News Brown double-crossed the Hitman, Mania 5, and former President Trump's Plaza best Battle Royal or Rumble moments? It's probably got to be Titus World Slide, has it? Is that the best moment? Do you know what one of my favourite moments is that's really underrated? It's when the Great Khali is in the ring. The Great Khali is just chopping everyone in the ring and just knocking everyone down and just. I remember Michael Cole. Who can stop? Who can stop the Great Khali? I mean, it's just this monster of a man just chopping people down. I mean, his matches were god awful. But in that moment, he was just destroying everyone. And then you get number 30 and it's The Undertaker. And The Undertaker comes out. It's just, oh, man. I remember that being such an exciting moment. It's a nothing easy to book moment. It's one of those moments that, you go, oh, yeah, whatever. But honestly, it was done brilliantly, I thought. And I really always had a soft spot for that moment. I've said before, the most heartbreaking moment is when I legit thought Bulldog had won it in, I think, 95. And then it turns out Sean had held on and got back in and eliminates Bulldog. That's the most heartbreaking moment. Ric Flair winning it in 92 is goated. But it's got to be Titus World Slide. If you're talking best Battle Royal or Royal Rumble moment, I think it's got to be Titus World Slide. I'll tell you the one that I love, though, as well. And it is Luke, who gets eliminated, bushwhacks his way to the ring, gets immediately thrown out, and rather than complaining or moaning or anything, just gets up and bushwhacks his way to the back again. I mean, that was brilliant. Or Cena's return as well, when and it's Cena back. That was, place went bananas for that. Some great Rumble moments. Mitchell said he bet that Cody would finish the story. Well, Cody still could. If he was betting it would be at WrestleMania 39, then yes, he fell short. Maybe he was betting that NXT would lose to AEW on that Super Tuesday. I just thought AEW had a great chance. So I put all my money on them beating us, and it turned out we beat them by hundreds of thousands of viewers. I got it wrong, guys. I got it wrong. Okay, so We've got promo from Lexus King. Good luck, my friends. I love it when a plan comes together. So Lexus King is making out that this was all part of the plan. Big strong boy. Big strong boy. Big strong boy. Tyler Bates. Do you know, I saw a clip of him and Pete Dunne the other day from their match in Chicago from 2017. So good. So good. Such intensity. It's so heartbreaking to see 6 years later, this is where we are with him. 6 years later. He's struggling to even get onto an NXT Premium Live Event card. And he put on one of the best matches in NXT history. Who's going to take this one? This will be a good poll. Which way is this going to go? Wait, the Eddy Thorpe. Eddy. Tyler. Carmelo. Joe Coffey. I think Eddy gets it. Eddy's my pick. That takeover match was amazing, said Mitchell. Bembo said, I think Lexus King is behind NXT Anonymous. Dark Angel said they could have a lot of fun with it, but it would end up being so much stupid. Lexus King's beard is by Woolly Will, says A. Jobson. I think... Oh, we read that one. They could have a lot of fun, but it was somewhat silly. I've warmed up since last week's striptease when Punk returned, says John. Okay, here we go. Mitchell said AJ showing up was my at number 3 is my favorite. It's a great moment. Botched camera work, but it's a great moment. Coffey charging over at big boot there by Eddy Thorpe. Let's see what people are voting on. Eddy Thorpe is my pick on this one. My thinking on this one is that Carmelo is a big star, but his story at the moment is that he is struggling and being outshone by Trick, and it's really driving a wedge between them. So I could see him not qualifying. He could also get in, and we could see a big fallout between them at the show. But I think there's a chance that Carmelo doesn't qualify and actually ends up costing Trick at the show. That we could go that way as well. So that leaves Eddy, Tyler, and Joe Coffey. Tyler just seems a bit too out of it. He hasn't been featured as much recently. So he just seems a little out of it at the moment. So Eddy and Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey, I think, is going to be doing some stuff with Hank and Tank, and we got that earlier. Eddy Thorpe's been featured quite a bit. So Eddy Thorpe is the pick. But let's see. Let's see. And in the chat, you lot, we've had nearly 100 votes. 42% have said Carmelo, 31% have said Tyler, 16% have said Joe Coffey, 11% have said Eddy Thorpe. So, again, is that Eddy Thorpe the lowest again? Yep. Fallon was the lowest selected, and she ended up winning. And Eddy is now the lowest selected. Is that another indicator? Joe Coffey spinning Tyler around. Face first. George said, Cora Jade said, see you at Deadline in a video. Okay. Cora Jade. Don't know where she has been. Legit, I don't know if she hasn't been to have breasts enlargements, enhancements, whatever. There was a picture that was a while ago now on social media that seemed to show that she was a bit bigger than I remember in that department. So I genuinely don't know. She very much may have been off for that reason. That time you roll a big blunt, pour yourself a glass of sherry, sit back, relax, and realize you left the lighter in another room, says Trini. Big problems in Trini's world right now. Stay strong. You're in our thoughts. Uppercut by Joe Coffey. Melo loses today due to Lexus interference, and it's Melo versus Lexus one-on-one at Deadline. Right, everyone's down at the moment. Are we going to commercial break? Eddy down. Right, everyone's down. And we are going to commercial break. So, commercial break. At what time is it? We got 19 minutes, and then there will be a small overrun. This is at go home for NXT. Obviously, NXT Deadline this Saturday, and we will be live. We will be here for it. I don't know what time it's on, actually. I mean, it is a Saturday stream, so we need to make sure that we are giving it the respect it deserves. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little look, shall we? NXT Deadline start time. I'm guessing it starts at 1 a.m. That would be my guess. But we don't guess. We actually look. So, WWE presents Deadline from Bridgeport CT. WrestleTix reported, when was this? November 28th. 1,600 tickets remain as 2,009 tickets have been sold from 4,500. So, 4,500. It's not great numbers, is it? 4,500. And they've sold nearly 3 of that. 3,000 out of 4,500. There's still 1,600 tickets left. This was more than a week ago, though. The pre-show starts at 7, so that's midnight. The main show starts at 1. We will definitely start 2 hours before the pre-show. So that means that we'll be starting at 10 p.m. UK time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern. So we'll start 5 p.m. Eastern. Kickoff show starts at 7. Main show starts at 8. Do we need to start that early? No. But we're giving it the respect it deserves. We would start that early for UFC. We would start that early for boxing. We would start that early for main show. And to be fair, this is the last big WWE show of the year. And I reckon we'll get some moments, you know. I reckon there'll be some moments here. I don't think this is just going to be a so-so show. This is their last big show of the year. This is their last opportunity to make a statement. We got Rey Mysterio, who has just been announced that he's going to be there. He's not competing, but he's going to be there, as is Dragon Lee. Rumors we just heard about Cora Jade being in attendance as well. I reckon Jade Cargill stands a good chance of being there also. So, yes, I think this is... and the lineup looks pretty good. 2 Iron Survivor matches. Ilja Dragunov against Baron Corbin. Dragon Lee against Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Might mean the rest of Judgment Day are there. Might mean that Rhea Ripley makes an appearance as well. So, yeah, I get that it's not the biggest card of the year, and not one that has really got that much buzz around it, but it could be a little sleeper, you know. It could be a little treat, hidden little treat. Could be one that we look back on fondly. The QR code led to a video with Cora Jade's voice. Did it? Did it? Didn't it lead to that thing? Zylot theme said it led to this. See you at Deadline. Did it? If you played that, did it lead to her voice? This is where I probably should have just scanned it myself. What happens when you leave it to others? QR code on the podium led to this. It had an interesting voice. So when you played it, it played her voice. Is that coming through?
At Deadline. See you at Deadline. See you at Deadline.
I actually can't hear that, you know. You lot can hear it. I can't hear it. See you there. Eddy has been planted on some ring steps. I'ma make you fall in love. Why did the main event start so early? Well, I don't know if they're not going to do the little sit-down chat after. Because they did that for the women. I don't know if they're going to do it for the guys. Or if we are just going to go through this match. Gets up, grabs Carmelo, puts Carmelo... Back elbow by Coffey. Roll over. That's nice. I like that spot. The only person that keeps saying Punk was coming back was a Dakota person. Sean Rossap said on the rundown that Tyler Bate wins, says A. Jobson. Well, thanks for ruining that if you're telling the truth. Save by Carmelo. Looking for a slam down there. Knees up by Tyler. Tyler goes against the ropes. Double knees by Carmelo. And a save by Joe Coffey. So this is our main event. I don't know that it's the last thing that we're going to be seeing, but this is our main event. Carmelo springs off into like a bit of a spear, but he didn't really spear him. Coffey and Tyler Bate, these two have faced many times before. In the corner goes Coffey, big boots. Coffey jumps up, crossbody, goes down. Oh, big strike there by Tyler. Tyler off the top, big clothesline. Tyler Driver coming up, looking to drive down Coffey. 1, 2, 3, and it is Tyler that gets the victory. So Tyler Bate picks up the win. He goes into the Iron Survivor match. If we jump over to the chat, then it was 28% of people that went with Tyler Bate. So we had 109 votes. And 28% of people went with Tyler. I'ma make you fall in love. So that match is done. We've finished just over, probably about 15 minutes early. So that means that we are going, I think, to that segment that we just had with the women. I'm guessing we do that now. I'm pleased for him. I'm glad that he got it. I didn't think it would be him. Usually I'm all about peace and tranquility. But come Saturday, it's Dijak. Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate. Okay, so Dijak making his way down to the ring. He's ordering that these people be removed out of his way. Shut the hell up. So crowd boo him. Tyler, you call yourself the big strong boy, yeah? I have much more than just a chance. Yeah, look, we're going to be bringing out everyone, aren't we? Here's Braun. He didn't have to kick him, says Mitchell. Rhea Ripley reposted the clip of Otis being slammed and applauded it. Yeah, it was sick, man. So good. So Bronner's made his way down to the ring. Stay in the box. Save yourselves. Save your careers. If you get sent to the box, stay there. Here's Jensen. He's the surprise entry in this. I wasn't expecting Jensen. Someone's got a sick WrestleMania 6 shirt on in the background. Warrior locking up with Hogan. I like it like that. I've been waiting on this moment my entire life. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh, Lord. Nothing like some Phil Collins. Let's go. Okay, so Dijak, Jensen, Braun, Tyler. Whoop that trick. They love him, man. I'm going to whoop that trick. I'm going to whoop that trick. I'm going to whoop that trick. I'm whooping all these tricks. Oh, boom. Big brawl. Big brawl. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Dijak was like, the only trick you should be whooping is your so-called best friend. It's kicking off, man. It's kicking off. Nice Razor Ramon shirt that a woman has got, said Erasure Mind. Is there? I did not see a Razor Ramon shirt. Nice. You gotta love the classics. Oh, God, yeah, forgot about this. Dragunov, Corbin, face-to-face. I forgot about that. So, they are making their way down to the ring. Ilja Dragunov, Baron Corbin. Coming up. Let's go. We've got a brawl between all five. We do. Spoiler, Daze didn't push Glenda in the lake. Me and Sunny were under the dock in scuba gear and we pulled her in. Jesus. That could be a big problem for me. That could be a real issue. That could be the end of this channel. Game over. Ilja Dragunov, Baron Corbin, face to face, coming up next. Right, forget about Dragunov and Corbin. I can't. It's next. I can't forget about it. Daze, we knew Glenda was bad for Daze. She was. She was very bad for me. She brought out the worst in me. I fixed the tweet. I tagged you in the wrong tweet. The post is making the rounds and it's making some noise. Okay. I'ma make you fall in love. Oh, God, that song is so in my head now. I feel like I've heard that song more than any other song in my life. I'ma make you fall in love. I will get to it. Give me 1 second. I'ma make you fall in love. Mitchell said, imagine Trick says, while I'm whipping tricks, I'll be performing them and then drop some magic tricks. Trick the magician. Let's go. Wonder if he's got a friend called Treat and they go out together on Halloween. Oh. Okay. Oh, I'll tell you what. I like a graph. Big time. Everyone knows I'm a little partial to a graph. Let's have a look at this graph, shall we? What's this graph gonna teach us? Audience race demographic. Oh yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's go. If ever we were going to get cancelled, I'm sure it's for whatever's going to happen within the next 5 minutes. So, race. We're going to talk about a subject that never really gets spoken about much, a subject that's probably the most uncontroversial subject in the world. We're going to talk about race. So, let's get into this, shall we? Oh, sure, this is going to go very well. So, SmackDown, 57% of people that watch SmackDown are white, 26% are black, 12% are Hispanic, and then a small percentage are purple and the rest are green. On Raw, we've got... this just tells me there's an awful lot of white people that watch wrestling. That's what it says. That's what's screaming to me. Look at all these white people. I'm just seeing a lot of white people. There's a healthy percentage of black people straight across the board here as well. 26% for SmackDown, 25% for Raw, 27% for NXT. Only 16% of black people tuning in for AEW Dynamite, 68% white people. Oh, Asian people are the pink the segment, shall we say? I honestly don't know what we can get from this. I agree it's interesting. I don't know really what we can decipher. Other than wrestling seems to be a white person sport. Because there are just so many white people watching all of these shows. Especially Dynamite, 68%. Oh, hang on. Here we go. We've got Trick and Carmelo arguing away. He says I would never work with him. And to prove it to you, I'm going to whoop his ass. So, Lexis against Carmelo. On Saturday. On Saturday, Melo opens the show and Trick closes the show. Well, there we go. It looks like we're going to get Melo against Lexis King. I mean, yeah, I suppose what do we get from this? We get not many Asian people. Other races really struggling as well. White people kind of dominating the viewership by the looks of it. Straight across the boards, more than 50% on every single show. Black people, good percentage, straight across the board, second biggest percentage. Hispanic, There's not loads of variation, to be honest. I mean, certainly not between SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. Bigger percentage of white people watching Dynamite and Collision and Rampage and Impact. You know what? Respect to the biggest percentage for black people is for women of wrestling. Respect. Respect. You know what you like. You know what you like. You're tuning in. The biggest percentage is for women of wrestling. Love it. Not wasting any time. Ain't wasting time watching blooming Rampage. Ain't wasting my time watching Collision. Women of wrestling. Whole hour of nothing but women wrestling and grappling around. Let's go. What's the biggest percentage for white people? That's 68%. That's for Dynamite. That's a pretty white show, isn't it, actually? It's a pretty white show. It's bland. It's boring. We criticize it more than we praise it. No wonder more white people tune into that than any other race. But if you look across SmackDown, Raw, and NXT, it's about the same, innit? Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, we've got Corbin. Tony is trying to tap into the race group with Swerve, says Big Time. Is he talking about him leaving his family? We're into the overrun already. So he's talking about his family and them being in a lonely apartment at night. What you're doing to your son now is what your father did to you. Getting personal. Baron's getting personal. The veins are popping out of your neck, buddy. The shirt's come off. I unleash it now and not on Saturday, then there will be no NXT title match. You will leave this place tonight in an ambulance. So, yeah, he's really worked up here. Oh, SOB? You materialistic SOB? Yeah, that's where you're wrong. Chinny said, I'm African-American, East Indian, Irish, Dutch, Spanish, Native American, and Nigerian. I am all categories. You're your own category. That's where you are. I'm surprised they didn't just put a little slither that said Trini at the end of that little pie chart. Not through the ups and downs. I've never stopped. Not through brand changes. Not through COVID. I'm taking what is mine. I'm really pumped for this, you know. I'm really pumped for this. Axiom and Frasier's on the kickoff show, says A. Jobson. I can walk down any street in the world and not look over my shoulder. Ilja tips the table over. I've been through hell and back and I always find a way. I really like this. Table in the corner. Do it for your family, Ilja. Look, Corbin's turned his back. Saturday, I take your only reason to be here. The only one that can destroy the dragon is the dragon himself. That was awkward. It was awkward. It was weird. It was a little bit sexy. He just grabbed him, gave him a big hug. I mean, it looked like he was ready to throw him, but they kind of embraced, and he said the only one that can beat the dragon is the dragon himself. And you saw a very concerned look on Baron Corbin's face. A lot of tension in that. A lot of tension. I thought they were going to kiss. I thought we were going Brokeback Mountain. Release the dragon. A. Jobson said 25% German, 25% French, 25% Dutch, 25% English. It's awful. That's at least 50% awful. Say what you want about Jim Cornette. Okay. He's old. And he's out of shape. Thanks. The brawl interferences are corny, says Kappa. They are corny. We did it with the women, now we're doing it with the men. It's a bit too formula, isn't it? It's a little bit too, we do this now, and we do this now. Trick ends up getting speared into the table. Tyler Bate goes, I mean, as a go-home show goes, it's been very fun. It's been very fun. It's been an entertaining show, actually. And you know what that means, my friends? It means that we're going to have to put a poll up. Are we putting it up on this channel? No. We don't do that now. Them days are done. We put it up on the second channel. The second channel, which is called Wrestling Daze Clips, but it might change its name. I don't know what to. But there was some great suggestions last night. But we are going to put up the poll over there. Bang, 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 bang. All time. Great. Goods. Okay. Bads. Boom. We had 150 votes yesterday, which is not bad considering that channel has not been used for a very long time. So that is up now. You can get your votes over there. That is where the news videos are all going, and we're cleaning up this channel. We're cleaning it up. It's going to be, we're streamlining. We're doing some housekeeping. We're doing our January tidy up a bit early, our big clean. Ilja said the only one who can destroy the dragon is the dragon himself, and apparently that's weirded Corbin out. Defcon said Dragon Brandon Cutler to WWE confirmed. Brandon Cutler confirmed. Stay safe. Jadam, shout out to you. Wrestling Daze wants to put a poll up. Call in Corbin, materialistic son of a bee, crossed the line worse than the Montreal Screwjob. It was awkward. It was weird. It was a little bit sexy. That's Daze's quote of the year. I think it sums up these streams, doesn't it? That's these streams. It's a bit awkward. It's weird. We just go wherever the conversation goes. We go down some dead ends. Can all get a bit awkward. But it's also a little bit sexy at times as well. There's definitely an undertone of sexiness right there, isn't there? Just a little bit. Just a little bit of sexiness around. Very much coming from you guys, not me, as people are putting in their thoughts and continue to do that. What did you score this show? So let's go down, shall we? 6.5 by Draco. What's your excitement level for Deadline? Probably about a 7.5, actually, because even though the card looks okay, one of the year, there's something special about that. It's not just, oh, it's NXT Deadline this weekend. It's NXT Deadline this weekend, and I don't think we've got another big show till the Royal Rumble. So the fact that it is going to be our last big show of the year, and what a year it's been. I mean, I'm sure we will be a bit reflective during that stream as we kind of look back a bit on 2023. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that stream. I'm looking forward to it. So probably about a 7.5. I mean, obviously, if we had some more main roster stars, or if there was like a really hot feud that was grabbing our attention, then it might be even higher. But 7.5 honestly is not bad. It's really not bad for an NXT show. And it may even sneak up as we continue to get closer to the weekend. 2 brawls might be a bit much, said A. Jobson. There's too many brawls on NXT. It's like watching AEW, said James. Big Time said 7. Mitchell said, I think it's a 6. Defcon Prime said, are the polls longer on other channels, or are they short polls? Same size polls. Standard sized polls. A. Jobson said 6.75. Defcon said, oh, we answered that. What is your score, said Mitchell? Probably about 7.25. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think I could do without some of the spots during the 4-way match. I think they have a lovely energy, lovely pace throughout the show. I feel like every second matters with NXT. I mean, think about everything you saw tonight, all the backstage stuff. There's a lot of work that goes into these shows. There's a lot of pre-records. There's a lot of story. I mean, like across 2 hours, I feel like you've really been. I don't feel like that's a show that was worth missing, you know? I feel like they're very good at pushing things forward, like the Wes Lee situation. He's out. Dragon Lee is in. We get a video message from Rey Mysterio. You get all that drama with NXT Anonymous and Carmelo. You get 2 qualifying matches. You get brawls. You get a awkward, sexy segment at the end between Dragunov and Corbin, and there's a lot in there. There's just a lot. Nikita Lion showed up. QR code. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this show. So yeah, I'm in the 7s. Jobson said PW Insider is reporting Wes will miss 8 to 12 months. Oof. That stuff said the QR code took you to Deadline with the sound of Cora Jade see you at Deadline. Back when Vince looked like a normal person. Right, we are done. Thanks a lot for joining us. Don't forget you can vote on that second channel. It's appreciated as always. And we're back tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. Also tomorrow is the first video in our new series, which I'm going to upload tonight, and I will make it available to members. The second it's uploaded, I will share the link to members, and then it'll go live tomorrow. What I might do, actually, is I might upload a future episode for members and that means the one that drops tomorrow will be one that the members won't have seen, which is probably a better way of doing it, isn't it? Thinking about it. But anyway, yes, lots happening. There's lots happening. But all you need to worry about is that we are back tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. So appreciate the support. Have a good evening wherever you are.